Yo, what up, what up? This is AniYayAniNay coming back at you with the 4th episode. I'm your host, John. Unfortunately, during this episode, my partner in crime, Joey, will not be joining us due to being in the hospital at this time for medical reasons. Though, I will do everything I can to give y'all a great podcast this time on this show. So, let's get started. Yo, welcome back to AniYayAniNay. As I spoken before, this may be a relatively short podcast because today we're going to be talking about the biggest release this week. That is the 45-minute premiere episode of the Entertainment District arc to the Season 2 Demon Slayer. So I want to first give a little background about this episode. First off, let's begin with how it starts, so you know everything you need to know about where we're going with the show. Just to give you all a heads up, spoiler alert. So if you haven't watched the episode yet, please, I'd recommend stop and listening to this podcast unless you are interested in, hearing spoilers. Okay, so the episode first starts off, of course, with us showing the Mugen Train battle between Akaza and Rengoku. And then after the result of seeing him get killed by Akaza, we then go and move to seeing this sickly little boy. He's very pale and white walking down the streets at night. We later find out that it is actually Muzan Kibutsuji, who is this little boy. He is transformed now into another form, and then he's visited by Akaza to speak to him about some blue lily of some kind. And of course Akaza reports back that he hasn't found anything about it, and Muzan is of course disappointed in Akaza because all he was able to do was kill the Rengoku, the Flame Hashira, and he would let Tanjiro get away as well as the other two, Zenitsu and Inosuke. Then, of course, after we hear about Muzan being upset with Akaza, we move back to the Butterfly Mansion where Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu have come back to be healed and recover from the battle on the Mugen Train. Everyone, of course, is depressed. Zenitsu is depressed, and Inosuke is doing everything he can to get stronger, but Tanjiro is the one that is most shaken up about it. He just seems to have shut down and become broken, and not even Nezuko seems to be able to cheer him up at this time. Then it fast forwards a little bit further to a few months later, and Tanjiro ends up going to see Rengoku's family to bring them the news about what happened. And he meets Shinjiro as well as Rengoku's father. Shinjiro is, by the way, the name of Rengoku's brother, by the way. Gotta make sure you guys know that, of course. But then after that, we hear about something called the sun breathing technique. Of course, we hear this from Rengoku's father, and this makes him very upset, and he's able to distinguish this by Tanjiro's earrings. And then, of course, after a little spat between him and Rengoku's father, Shinjiro gives Tanjiro these chronicles of all the Flame Hashira to see if he can find anything about, the Hinokami Kagura, which is Tanjiro's fire dance that has been passed down his family for generations. And of course, after he breaks the news and then leaves Rengoku's home, he then fast forwards and everybody is recovering. Basically, we see a little speck of where Inosuke, Zenitsu, and Tanjiro are recovering from their wounds. And then they're going on separate missions all by themselves. Nezuko is, of course, assisting Tanjiro on his missions. Zenitsu and Inosuke are going off alone. Then one day, I believe it was about 4 months later, after Tanjiro has come back from a mission, he hears screaming in the butterfly house, and it seems that the Sound Hashira is trying to take Aoi and one of the little girls away. I can never remember their names. I'm definitely going to have to look up that so I can give more details on that. And he's planning on taking them on a mission. And of course, they don't want to let them go. Even Kanaho takes charge in trying to stop him from taking them away. And then Tanjiro, of course, convinces him later that him and Zenitsu and Inosuke will take the girl's place and go to assist him on his mission. And we later find out that his mission takes place in the entertainment district, or the red light district, whichever one you want to call it, which is how this arc got its name, which is where they're heading off on their mission. Now, I just want to break a few things down on this episode, of course, with what's going on in Demon Slayer right now. Let's start with the beginning of where we see Muzan Kibutsuji, of course. And just also to give you a little heads up, I know already about why things are going down because I've read the manga myself, but I'm just going to say it as if speak about it as if I haven't, because I don't want to give anybody too deep of spoilers just about the show itself. Okay, first of all, again, back with Muzan. Let's say that he's already begun to shapeshift and seems like he has that ability. Then again, I'm not surprised by that, because we see Nezuko be able to shapeshift and to get smaller and larger, but it seems Muzan's able to shapeshift not just in adult forms. He's able to switch his gender as well, as we saw at the end of the first season. He's able to become a female, but this time he switched himself completely to a little boy. And it seems Muzan is not happy, and he's looking for something called the Blue Lily. So obviously, he's trying to make some kind of potion or formula in order to basically become like stronger, or like to make demons immune to sunlight or something like that. I mean, that would be basically crazy if demons were immune to sunlight, because then basically they'd probably be invincible. But it seems that's what Muzan's goal looks like to me. He wants to become invincible and make all his demons invincible, because he wants nothing to be able to kill them, not even demon slayers. Basically make their Nichirin swords useless. Okay, then we're going to move forward to Rengoku's family. Well, I can already say most of this episode is about the grieving for Rengoku, because his loss was a big one to not only the Demon Slayer Corps, but also to his family as well, although his father tries to hide it in the beginning. But, I mean, Shinjiro seems to be much younger, and is obviously not taking the Demon Slayer path. It seems he was unable to do so because his Nichirin sword never changed color. But the main thing I love to see that I heard here today was that we finally got a hearing from Rengoku's father, the sun breathing technique, which is supposedly from what we heard from Rengoku's father, the essence of all other breathing techniques from the Demon Slayer Corps. So which means Tanjiro must secretly know some kind of secret technique that no other demon slayers know, and has been passed down through his family for generations. This is probably why Muzan took such an interest in him in the beginning, because he wore Hanafuda earrings, and that was some kind of symbol that he's a sun breather. And supposedly Tanjiro must know this technique, or secretly knows it, and it was somehow passed down through his father from his fire dancing, which I find very interesting, because we're finally going to get some more into about how the Hinokami Kagura is actually a demon slayer form, and that's pretty awesome, which means that I'm really excited to know more about this sun breathing technique, because originally I thought this was some kind of flame breathing technique myself. And then now, moving forward, we get more from basically Tengen Uzuni, the sound Hashira. And he's really awesome, and he seems to have a lot of comedy in him. This was like the first real breakdown and having a conversation. He had a conversation other than the first time we saw him during the Hashira meeting. But during that time, everyone was like having a part to speak in that moment. But I mean, this was like the first real time we actually got to have a real conversation from Tengen Uzuni. And of course, we find out that he was once a ninja, like, of course, Naruto. But I mean, yet even knowing that, he's like had some kind of fighting prowess, basically. He already has some experience in battle, so that makes him probably even more, how can I say it, more skilled than most other Hashira. And that probably means that he's more of a stealth fighter, because, you know, ninjas are all about stealth, of course. But the other thing I want to focus on is his personality more than anything, because his moments were really funny. First, when Kanao tries to stop him, and then we get the other two little girls trying to stop him as well from taking Aoi and their sister, and they jump on top of him, like going nuts, trying to do everything in their power to stop him. And then we get Tanjiro running in there, and he's like all confused, thinking like, who's the real one in danger here? Is it him or her or the girls? I don't know. And of course, we find out that, of course, it's the girls that are in danger. And basically, from what I've seen in the opening that they showed at the end of the episode, they made Tengen look like he was some kind of G. Like he was sitting by a bunch of females and like sitting in basically like a G pose. Like he was some kind of pimp. So I'm already liking him a lot. But another thing also, moving away from Tengen, we also got our first glimpse of Kanao trying to change a little bit, because she didn't use her coin to stop Tengen. She just chose to stop Tengen herself. So we're basically getting some more character development from her, and that's good news too as well. Kanao is like the one who needs a lot of character development, and I'm pretty sure she's going to get more of it down the stretch. This is just her first step. But this was a good first step, because it shows that she actually cares a lot about the girls, and it's not just about orders from her. She cares about the whole family as if they were her own family, even though she's adopted into this family. Probably my most favorite moment was when they said hentai to Tengen. And it was like, basically in the subtitles it said hentai, but we all know what hentai means in Japanese. That means pervert. And so they're taking Tengen is a pervert, which is really funny. Aside from basically the grieving parts, this has probably had the most comedy out of all the Demon Slayer episodes. I mean, when they brought him in and this final 10 minutes, it was supposed to be all funny. And it was really funny. Just thinking about it's making me laugh now. But anyway, like I said before, this was going to be kind of a short podcast because my partner in crime isn't here to chat back with me about like how he feels, as well as like this excitement for this episode, as well as for the start of this new season, has really got me pumped up, as well as I'm sure everybody else who are a fan of Demon Slayers are pumped about it as well. But to give basically a yes or no about this, I would definitely give this an AniYay, and definitely looking forward to the rest of the episodes. Alright, but before I sign off, I just want everybody who is listening to this or listens to it in the future to give a big shout out to my friend Joey, who is in the hospital at this time. Just please wish him well. I hope he gets better soon, and I hope he joins us back real soon to be a part of our podcast and to help me entertain all of you. But as for me, this is John signing off. Thank you for listening to AniYayAniNay. See you later.